Hi and good morning. We are ready to start today's event, and on behalf of HC Andersen Capital, I would like to welcome you to this presentation of the first half 2022 report from Aquaporin that was released yesterday. My name is Rasmus Køjborg, and with us today we have CEO, that's Matt Bukowski, and we have CFO Claus Juhl Wulff, who will take us through the report and sort of the recent development. So a warm welcome to you guys first. And before I hand over, I'd also like to give a warm welcome to those of you who signed up for today's presentation. As usual, you can ask questions in the chats, and you're welcome to do that in Danish if you prefer that, and then we'll do the translation. And of course, we record the presentation here and release it on different platforms afterwards. But with that, I'll leave the word to you, Matt and Claus. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rasmus. We are very excited to be here with you and the audience to talk a little bit more about our H1 results for 2022. If you can go to the next slide, please. As you introduced us, I'm here with Claus, our Chief Financial Officer. And before we start, we just wanted to make the audience aware that we have some forward-looking statements that could be communicated here. So it's just something that, just be aware of that, this presentation could contain such statements. Perhaps we'll start with an introduction of Aquaporin, just to remind the audience of who we are and what we do. So Aquaporin is a pioneer in water technology, and we are committed to solving global challenges by rethinking water filtration through biotechnology. We're dedicated to natural water treatment, and we are a company based in Copenhagen with offices in Turkey, Singapore, and the United States. We are traded on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange under the symbol ticker AQP. So we have one core technology, which we call Aquaporin Inside. This is a technology that allows us to bridge our formulation with standard membranes, so basically bringing biotech and engineering together. With that, we are offering solutions to three major business areas: drinking water, food and beverage, and industrial water. We are a global company, headquartered in Denmark, as I mentioned, with global customers, global key accounts. We are 86 employees with a very diverse culture and background, and we are supported by a strong base of cornerstone investors. So now moving into the highlights for the first part of 2022. I think we are very excited with what we've been able to achieve during the first half of the year, and this is shown by our revenue at 13.1 million Danish kroner. This is roughly 50% more than the revenue that we've been able to achieve for all of 2021. And I think this shows that we are making great strides with both customers, repeat customers, developing new business, and we have been also able to accelerate a few areas in product development where we have pushed products in all categories. So that's been something that we've been also really developing in both forward osmosis and in drinking water. We've also, of course, reinforced our executive management team by adding Claus, our Chief Financial Officer, who is joining me here today. What I'd like to focus on is these three areas when I go over the highlights. The first one being the core technology and innovation. What sets Aquaporin apart from other water technology companies is the fact that we are really exploiting biotechnology to apply that to water treatment by combining it with standard membranes and standard technologies that are available on the market today. And so in that area, we have advanced the development of our second generation of a reverse osmosis membrane. The second generation is driven by better flow rates or better energy efficiency. That is something that is very critical in the world today. As you know, there's energy crises, there's water crises, and having those types of products is a way to alleviate those or to provide a solution to those types of challenges. We've also worked on our protein delivery technology. So that is how we encapsulate the protein so that we can incorporate it in the formulation, and then that formulation can be applied to the membranes. That is something that the core tech and deep tech team has been focusing on quite a lot, as it is, again, making our unique selling proposition stronger. We have continued entering into a number of different collaborations. These are with universities or with other companies, And what we have also done is focused our collaborations such that 80% of them contribute to the core of our business, meaning drinking water, forward osmosis in food and beverage, or in industrial water, and 20% contribute to what we call new areas or game changers. So that is where we are giving ourselves the chance to look at other areas that could be of interest to Aquaporin and apply our technology and our lab facilities and the biotech facility that we have towards some new developments. Now, moving to drinking water and reverse osmosis, a few things that I would like to highlight is that during the first half of the year, we've been able to complete the shipments to Vestel. This is one of our key accounts in Turkey, who are launching a purifier brand called Refine. And this is based on Aquaporin's purifier and a collaboration that we have with this company. What is really also great to hear from Vestel is that they are dedicating quite a bit of marketing support and advertising towards the launch of this product. And we are really excited to be part of this journey with them. And so far, it's been a very positive feedback. They've actually rated us as a really good company to work with. The quality of our relationship is strong. And we are very excited to continue this development with Vestel that we hope to really accelerate as well towards the remainder of the year. We have achieved repeat sales, and I think this is probably one of the most important things to highlight during the first part of the year is that we are now at I would say 7 accounts with whom we have had repeat sales. That number is growing, and the number of repeat sales with those accounts is growing as well. And I think this is a strong testament to both our technology, but also the company as a whole is being set up so that we can deliver repeat business to a growing number of customers. We've also advanced our brackish reverse osmosis membranes. These are membranes that we are targeting primarily at waters that are less salty than seawater and that can be applied to a various number of different kinds of water streams. So, for instance, you can think of wastewater reuse and such other streams. That's where the brackish water membranes would be applied. And again, in drinking water, we have advanced product development during the first half of the year. We have new product prototypes. I will show you one in a few slides, both for the kitchen segment as well as the under the sink segment. Now, moving to forward osmosis, we've sold 2 systems in the first part of the year, one to a large beverage company in the United States and one to a water technology company in China. Both of those systems are being commissioned, and both of the systems will be piloted this year, and we will see the results in terms of quality, longevity, durability, and potential for scale-up. So again, very excited to be working with 2 major customers in 2 separate geographies. We formed strategic alliances in a various number of segments. One that I can highlight here is the strategic alliance with Waflin and Berghoff in food and beverage, and another one with Forward Water in Canada in areas like lithium. Flavor Tech partnership, that is one that allows us to access the aroma segment. Flavor Tech is a leader in providing technologies to the food and beverage industries in aromas especially. And this is an area where we are very proud to be integrated in their portfolio of solutions. And lastly, we have advanced in the first part of the year the 2nd generation of forward osmosis membranes that allows us to open up the operating envelope to a broader range of applications. So we hope to have this product ready sometime towards the end of this year or mid of next year. But the first prototypes have been made. If you can move to the next slide, please. So here, this is one of the products that we have been developing. On the left-hand side is a purifier that you can see the Aquaporin inside branding on it and a little connectivity cloud, which means that it's going to be connected to the internet. And our customers are going to be able to see data and manage their water consumptions accordingly. One of the things I would like to highlight here, and which is also why you see the word PFAS in blue and in bold, is that this is something that's been in the news quite a bit, especially in Europe and especially in Denmark. So we now have data that confirms that we can remove PFAS to very low, non-detectable levels with our purifiers, in addition to removal of things like bacteria, viruses, parasites, and hardness. So I think this is really important to, for the audience to know that even though PFAS is a big deal, there is something that they can do about it, and there is a way that you can take matters in your own hands. This is also an example of how we are converting proof of concept to flagship products. We are learning from our initial sales. We're learning from our initial marketing and go-to-market approach, and we are developing new generations of product that make us stronger in the market. And that is something that, of course, as a growing company, we have to pay attention to, since we always strive to improve, to deliver better services to our customers. And so a lot of work during the first part of the year has gone into converting those proof of concepts into now accelerating commercialization. And again, you can see that in the numbers. We're on track with regulatory approvals for both drinking water and FO. This is, again, something that allows us to offer our products to a growing number of countries, since every country has its own specific regulatory approvals. We have an ambitious timeline that's established for product development. The product on the left is one of such products. We also have the kitchen unit, which is very important for us to deliver the first prototypes towards the end of this year, and we are on track as well. On the forward osmosis side, we've really increased our focus on niche segments, and you see some of the segments where we really have been focusing on here, such as aromas, certain aroma adjacencies, biogas, leachate, and then we have a few select key accounts that we're working with as well. The way in which we focus on those segments is very much through customer alignment. So these are segments where we have either a customer aligned towards a proof of concept, or towards commercialization, or towards a pilot. So overall, a very exciting drinking water portfolio in development, including the kitchen unit, purifiers, membrane flat sheet, membrane elements, and a lot of that has happened during the first part of the year to make sure that we are set for the second part of 2022 and for 2023. Next slide, please. So a bit more on our strategies coming to life, especially at the level of making an impact, forming partnerships, geographic expansion, and branding. At the level of making an impact, we estimate that approximately 50,000 homes and schools today have water powered by Aquaporin inside. This is based on our sales to in China, India, and Turkey, and we hope that this number is going to grow to 100,000 by the end of the year. So it's really, a strong ambition that we have to provide a solution for drinking water to homes and schools. And of course, this is driving an improved health for people, access to drinking water. But at the same time, we hope that this is also offsetting some plastic pollution by removing some of the plastic bottles that those people could have potentially been using had they resorted to this type of water consumption. So again, it's a small dent in a very big problem when you think globally, when you look at the droughts, when you look to for access to drinking water. And it takes a lot of companies like Aquaporin to help in that area. And this is just to put some numbers here. 50,000 might sound like a lot. There's way more people than that on the planet, of course. So, it's a dent, but we are very proud of it. We're seeing the beginning of revenue in the US from more than just drinking water. Now we have this forward osmosis system that we've sold. And again, this is in line with our strategy of also growing in the United States. And so we are actively recruiting for someone in the US to continue developing that journey in North America. In terms of our CMO, which is a contract manufacturing organization, and our joint development strategy, this has really started to pay off. One of the issues we see in the world today is disrupted supply chains, or issues with logistics, issues with getting things to the market fast. By having this joint development partnership, we're able to leverage what we do best and focus on our partners to help them either develop prototypes with our technology to bring things to the market faster, to decrease the amount of shipping back and forth, since we can do things at our partners' facilities in certain cases. So this has actually allowed us to test things in the market faster and to decide whether we go in a direction or whether we kill an idea quickly. And that is also important for a company of our size, to have this flexibility to do that. We have announced the opening of a liaison office in Turkey. The liaison office in Turkey allows us to provide better service to our Turkish growing customer base, but also to have access to the Turkish labor force that then opens up to the Balkan region and to some regions, to some of the regions in the Middle East. So should we decide to grow in those areas, we now have an office in Turkey from which this will be possible. We also focus a lot on branding and expanding our presence, expanding the co-branding of Aquaporin inside. And we've participated in a growing number of conferences, events, advertisements, and so on. One such event that we would like to just make the audience aware of here is the International Water Conference that's going to be happening in Copenhagen the week of September 12th. Aquaporin is going to be present there. And we have a special event that we're hosting on September 13th at Empire Cinema. So if anybody is interested in attending, you can email us here at investorrelations@aquaporin.com, and it will be our pleasure to add you to the list. We'll be Peter, our founder, and myself will be doing a short presentation. It's going to be followed by a panel, and we'll be able to get into more details around what you've heard here today. Primarily around PFAS, actually. This is something that we've been focusing on quite a lot. So we really hope to raise awareness about the problem, but also raise awareness about potential solutions. If we could move to the next slide, I will just pass it here to our CFO, Klaus, to provide some of the results and outlook highlights that we communicated yesterday. And then, of course, we're very happy to take questions on this afterwards as well.
Thank you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. As Matt said, we came out with a very strong H1. We had 13.1 million of revenue. Of that, 7.9 came from drinking water. The other ones were from food and beverage and industrial water, which is more the business development projects that Matt also alluded to. The 13.1 actually represent a year-over-year growth of 360% versus the same period last year. And as Matt mentioned, we have now exceeded the full year revenue of 2021 by 47%. So really a strong commitment, strong growth, and strong the projection we have also going forward. We feel we're in a good position to continue the growth, also since we have this continuous sales to it. If you look at our EBIT margins, we came out with a loss of 53.7 million. This is an improvement versus last year where we came out with a loss of 82.6. So also there we're following the plan. And the results in general are to any extent, following what we kind of expected and what is the plan for the guidance as well. The cash at hand at the end of H1 was 79.6 million. This is sufficient for us to fund next year, but we will be investigating. We'll plan to investigate, options to actually raise further cash. This is something we'll be looking into from now and the rest of the second half of the year. A key thing for us to also note about our results is we don't have any debts or borrowings in our balance sheet, so a strong balance sheet with a good equity of 217.6 million crowns. If you go to the next slide, please, Rasmus. So with this, as we hopefully we try to lay out here, a very strong and positive H1, and also means that we are maintaining our guidance. So the guidance that we put forward all the way back when we did the annual report for 2021. So we are expecting revenue in the range of 20 to 30 million, EBITDA loss of between 90 to 100 million, and EBIT between 105 to 115 million. As I said, unchanged since the earlier beginning of the year. So with that, I think we conclude our kind of presentation and take any questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much, Klaus and Matt. Yeah, let's run through some of the questions that came in during your presentation. Some of them you might have addressed, but some perhaps we could elaborate a little bit on. There was one initially on the office in Turkey. Why Turkey? And I think you addressed that very well on the slide here, Matt. But maybe a follow-up or a question related to this, that there was one that what will be your most important markets within drinking water for H2 2022? And I don't know if Turkey perhaps could be one of them with the Vestel agreements.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we see in the drinking water space 3 markets where we have 4 markets really where we have repeat customers today. China being one of them, followed by Turkey, India, and we also see certain countries in kind of the Macedonia area through one of our key accounts. I would say that in terms of revenue, I think China is going to continue being our main market for the second part of the year. Although we could also see Turkey pick up quite a bit. It all depends also on the speed at which we will be able to continue commercializing with Vestel and the demand that's going to be driven for the products as they launch the purifier. So I would say China for the second half, Turkey close second. That is on drinking water, of course, and then some of the repeat accounts in countries like Macedonia and so on. That being said, I just also want to emphasize that we have a very strong plan and ambition to grow in other areas of Europe, and that is something that I think is important to share with the audience. We're putting a lot of effort in that whole PFAS area because we know that there is a lot of concerns from our customer base, and we do get requests for people, hey, can your purifiers do something about this? And they can. And the reason why we haven't been stronger at selling or promoting in Europe, it's purely regulatory. It takes time to get regulatory approval, to get all the right sort of checks from different authorities, and they're different in every European country. So we would really like to have as early as Q4 of this year the right approvals to be able to provide solutions in our home turf in Denmark and some of the other Scandinavian countries. We think that this can also drive a significant amount of our demand.
Very good, thank you, Matt. And perhaps also a follow-up on the original Vestel order. I think it was 2,500 units, as I recall it, that you had on the order in 2021. How much of that has been delivered? Has it been delivered in full? And are you running sort of on a new order now, or how much can you share with us?
So what I can share with you is that we've completed all shipments. So if it's been delivered in full, the Vestel is in the process of launching their marketing campaign. They have some very specific times at which they launch products that they incorporate in their portfolio. So we are dependent on them to launch the purifier. I know it's present in some stores already, but we don't have the results of the number of units that have been sold yet. So that is something, of course, we keep staying close to. We want this to be as successful as possible. So the only thing that I can share with you about this is that they are quite positive about it in terms of wanting to promote it and continue pushing different marketing campaigns to promote their Raffine purifier.
Very good. And there was also maybe more of a piece of advice than a question, but that was on the PFAS that someone recommends you that you go to the media with the with your solutions here. But I guess that's what you also plan for on this day you have upcoming in September to reveal some of your foundings here.
Yeah, we want so you're absolutely right. We wanted this event that we have. It's going to be a panel or a conversation with a couple of people debating the PFAS area and also talking about solutions, talking about what can be done. Because things can be done at different levels. They can be done at the household level. They can be done at the municipality level. And so it really is, a full area of debate. And PFAS it's a short word, but there's 4,700 chemicals that fall under that really tiny umbrella of four letters. So it's a complicated matter, and nobody's really going to test 4,700 chemicals. So it's a lot easier said than done, So, but we will be very excited to communicate to the audience at the event and also at IWA that we can do something about it. You can take matters in your own hands, basically, which is always what we've been preaching. Now we have a little bit more data to support that.
Very good. Looking forward to hear more from that day. So there was also a couple of questions sort of centering around this desalinization or afsaltning, as it is in Danish. There's one asking if you can give an update on that, and that's another one sort of relating to the current drought situation in sort of both Europe and globally, and if you'll be able sort of to have some solutions that could help offset some of these things. I think there's a little bit of echo, but I hope you get my question.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. It's an excellent question, and there's the answer could take hours, but I'll try to really summarize it. Yes, there are droughts. Yes, there is a need for water, and yes, the planet is blue, and you can desalinate a lot of water to solve that problem. But to desalinate water, you need a tremendous amount of energy. And so you're really offsetting one problem by another. And that has been often the problem with desalination. So what we are thinking at Aquaporin is that there are other ways that you can provide a solution to the droughts. And for instance, a lot of water, fresh water, is being used for agriculture. If you could use this water differently and potentially offset some of the 70% of the fresh water is used for agriculture, you could have a really nice solution to then bring some of that water towards consumers or towards areas of drought. And so what we are looking at is, when I mentioned the brackish water membranes, we see that as a solution to take some of the wastewater from wastewater treatment facilities and to use a brackish water membrane as a sort of polishing step, so that you can take the water from wastewater and put it towards the city sort of system to deliver water to people. There's also a lot of kind of a negative connotation associated with reusing wastewater for potable water, but you could totally do that. The technologies exist today, so you could take wastewater, reuse it, make drinking water out of it. But people don't really feel like this is something they want to do. Because nobody feels like they want to drink wastewater, but in reality, all the water is kind of reused wastewater at the planet level. So not to get too philosophical here, but to answer your question about desalination, we will be looking at desalination membranes. Our goal is to figure out how can we make membranes more energy efficient. So it doesn't necessarily mean that our membranes are going to desalinate better or worse than anybody else. I think that technology is there. But what we are trying to do is to always figure out, can we do things in a way that lower energy consumption by 5%, 10%? And so that's what drives us. That's been the driving factor for the drinking water membrane, for the brackish water membranes, and it will be in the future for the desalination membranes as well. So I would say we have what it takes to get there. We need time, and we also need launch customers that will be willing to accept a new company's technology and give it the chance to demonstrate itself. And that is easier said than done, because everybody is always a bit reluctant, to accept something new.
Very good. Thank you for updating on that also. And there was a question here relating to sort of, I think you had sort of supply chain issues, challenges, or on the logistics side. Could you give an update on that? What's the current situation here?
So I've been really pleased by how we've been able to overcome any sort of supply chain challenges. We, like any other company, we've experienced some delays in shipments. We've experienced some delays getting containers. But again, this is what I was alluding to with our CMO and our joint development partner strategy. We've actually been quite fortunate to have partners that really work closely with us and help us get things out the door as soon as possible. And we've been able to overcome a lot of them. So I would say that I cannot think of logistic and supply chain challenges today that would impact our guidance that we've given for the year. So very, very happy about that.
Very good, thank you. I think we're running out of time, and also, I think we also through most of the questions, but perhaps we could finish off with this. There's a question here: if you retain your sort of 2024 ambitions that you have in the IPO prospectus, and perhaps we could just sort of end with a small comment on the possibility of raising new capital, and also on your ownership structure. If you could, few words on that as a last remark.
Sure. It's a great question. So, I just want to say that the aspirations that we communicated last year were exactly that. Aspirations. They were not targets, and so they were based on a global macroeconomic setting that was very different from what we see today. Today we are a more mature company, so we have a broader product portfolio. We have repeat customers, strategic accounts, and we're seeing strong commercial traction and revenue growth. So that really allows us to provide an annual guidance that is based on traction and on sales that are growing from year to year. So for that reason, we believe that it's actually more transparent towards our investors to talk about guidance on an annual basis rather than aspirations. And we strongly believe, of course, in the potential of Aquaporin to capture a growing share of a 200 billion Danish kroner market. And with that, we do believe that we will break even in a few years. So that is, how we think of where we are and how we want to guide going forward. You also asked a sub question on the capital. Like it was announced, we have plans to investigate various options, and that is, something that we will be doing during the second half of the year. I don't have much more to say about that. Of course, if there's anything that there's more to say, then it will be released as as an announcement. Yeah.
Sure. Very good. Let's finalize with that. Thank you very much, Matt and Claus, for running through the H1 presentation here, the numbers, and also on giving us this update on your different markets and strategies. So very interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you for those of you who signed up today for the presentation and had a lot of interesting questions. So with that, we will just end the presentation and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.